Hi everyone, I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the lion dance hand puppet. It's made up of two main parts, the main body and the decorations. First, crochet the main body, and attach some decorations at the same time. Once completed, assemble and attach the remaining decorations. Here, the main body consists of the head, the ears, and the horns, the eyes, the jaw, the teeth, the body and the legs. We'll start by completing the head crochet, which is divided into two sections. The top part is the first section, and the bottom part is the second section. First, crochet the two sections one by one, then sew them together once completed. Let's start by learning the crochet for the first section. Take a look at the chart. The chart uses our plus number to indicate the round number. The increases and decreases explanation column shows the stitch patterns needed for crocheting the current round, including where to increase or decrease. The total stitches column shows all the stitches for the current round. The total number of stitches after completing all crocheting. The stitches used are X single crochet, V single crochet increase, chain stitch and slip stitch. Next, please watch my demonstration of the specific crochet method. To make it clearer for everyone, I'll demonstrate using chunky yarn here. Colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and printed pattern instructions. Casting on is done with a magic ring, which indicates the starting method is in the round. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand, and wrap it around your left index finger twice. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch the overlapping part of the loops. Then take it off, and wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger once. Pass through between the middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop between the middle finger and thumb of your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. The hook moves between these 2 points. Insert into the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Then draw the yarn through. There is now 1 loop on your hook. Make another chain stitch to secure. Yarn over. Draw through the loop. 1 chain stitch is completed. Pull tight. The adjustable magic ring is now completed. The loop on your hook should be slightly loose to make it easier for the following crocheting. Now we'll work the first round. R1, 6 single crochets, 6x. The number before the X indicates how many stitches. That means crochet that many single crochets. This means we'll work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. First, work 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet, yarn over, and pull through. This turning chain isn't marked in the chart. In actual circular crochet, you need to work a turning chain at the beginning of each round. The turning chain does not count as a stitch. Now we'll start crocheting the single crochets. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over, and pull through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops in once. 1 single crochet is completed. You can see a V-shaped pair of threads on the top right. This is the stitch of a single crochet, and 1 stitch represents 1 crochet. Continue with the second single crochet. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over, and pull through. Yarn over again, and draw through the 2 loops on hook. The second single crochet is completed. In total, 6 single crochets need to be crocheted in the first round. Continue crocheting the remaining stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6. The stitch pattern corresponding in the chart is completed. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops in total. First, gently pull the starting yarn tail. One loop becomes loose. Tighten the loose loop. And there will be 1 loop left. Simply pull the yarn tail tight. The loop is now closed. Next, work a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch of this round to finish, which is the big braid on the left side of the yarn tail. 1, 2. This big braid. If you really can't tell where it is, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still in the same stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. Slip stitch completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch, which does not count as a stitch. Need to tighten it up. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When crocheting in rounds, you always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. Like this, round 1 is completed. Now move on to round 2. Our 2 is 6V. The number before the V indicates how many single crochet increases you need to do in a row. Here it means 6 single crochet increases in a row. Make 1 beginning chain. And let me emphasize again, you always start each round with a beginning chain. I won't repeat this in the following steps. Work 1 single crochet increase into the first stitch of the previous round, which is the insertion point of the slip stitch. Work 2 single crochets at this point. While crocheting, place the starting tail over the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The single crochet increase is completed. Continue making a single crochet increase on the left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail. The second single crochet increase is completed. This round requires a total of 6 single crochet increases. The remaining 4 will all be worked using the method of making 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. After completing the last single crochet increase, check the stitch count. You can count backward. There are 12 stitches in total for this round. The total stitch count for each round is clearly marked in the corresponding chart. I won't mention it again from now on. Next, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pay attention. At the end of every round, you must join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Insert into the stitch of the first stitch. Take a look. Between the first stitch and the last stitch, there are 2 small braids. They belong to the slip stitch from the previous round, and the beginning chain of this round. Skip these 2 stitches. Work into the first stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Draw through all loops on the hook in one go. Slip stitch completed. Pull tight. Trim off the excess yarn tail from the beginning chain directly. Round 2 is now completed. Continue to crochet round 3. Our 3 is XV *6. The parentheses here indicate a group. Asterisk number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. First, make a single crochet. Then work a single crochet increase into the next stitch. One group of XV is now done. Let me demonstrate again. First, make a single crochet. Then work a single crochet increase. This is the second time. This round needs to be repeated 6 times, XV, for the remaining 4 repeats. Follow the method of 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Finish by joining with a slip stitch to the first stitch, that is, into the big braid at the first stitch, on the left side of the opening. Pull tight. The third round is now complete. Take a look. The right side of the fabric has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. From now on, all work will be done on the right side. Now crochet the fourth round. First, make a single crochet. Then work a single crochet increase in the next stitch. Next, crochet another single crochet. XV, and this round is done. Let me demonstrate again. First, make a single crochet. Then work a single crochet increase. Continue with another single crochet. This is the second time. Follow the same method as before. Once you've completed everything, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The fourth round is now complete. Move on to the fifth round. Start with a single crochet increase. Then crochet 3 single crochets. V3X is now done. Note: follow the stitch pattern order in the chart. Don't adjust it randomly. Continue crocheting using the same method as before. Once completed, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The fifth round is now completed. Let's take a look. One raised texture on the right side represents one round. So far, we've crocheted 5 rounds in total. For the remaining part below, the crochet method is simple. The stitches used have already been demonstrated earlier. The meaning of the increases and decreases explanation is similar to before. Just follow the stitch pattern order in the chart, repeat the corresponding number of times as shown. Let me explain here. In the chart, R1120 means work even for 60 single crochets. This indicates starting from round 11. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Each round has exactly 60 stitches. Continue crocheting until the end of round 20. While crocheting, don't forget to make the turning chains and slip stitches. Working even will cause the fabric to naturally curl. Adjust the fabric so the right side faces out. Continue down using the method we learned earlier. Refer to the chart. Finish the remaining part by yourself. I won't demonstrate further. After finishing, leave a tail for sewing. I'll show you the method with a sample swatch. First, secure with 1 chain stitch. Leave about 70-80 centimeters of yarn underneath. Then cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Tighten it up. That's the end of the first section. Now crochet the second section. First, work rounds 1 to 13. The method is similar to the first section, only the number of rounds and increases are different. Everyone can follow the chart directly. The stitch techniques have already been demonstrated earlier. I won't demonstrate them again here. After completing, crochet round 14. For this round, you'll pick up stitches on the half stitch. Let me show you first. Look at the 2 strands of the stitch. The strand closer to the front side is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. In this round, the chart indicates picking up the front loop of the previous round stitch. So start by making 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then pick up the front loop of the first stitch. Insert the hook through it. Work 1 single crochet. Once done, continue. Pick up the front loop of the next stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then work a single crochet increase. Continue crocheting following the same method as before. After completing, join with a slip stitch. Here, insert the hook into the stitch and crochet. Tighten it up. Round 14 is now completed. Continue working on the remaining parts. The method is simple. Everyone can directly follow the chart for crocheting. I won't demonstrate it here. After finishing, there's no need to leave a sewing thread. Secure it with 1 chain stitch. Enlarge the loop. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull it tight. Weave the yarn tail into the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches. Trim off the excess. That's the end of the second part. After completing both parts, next step is sewing them together and stuffing. First, thread the reserved yarn from the first part onto a yarn needle. Then take the second part and place the side with the protrusion inside the first part. At this point, the wrong side of the second part is facing out. Then align the ending positions of the two parts. Next, pick up the stitches from both parts and sew them together. Use the whip stitch method. Insert the needle from front to back through the adjacent stitches. Pull the yarn through. Continue picking up stitches to the left. Insert the needle from front to back to sew. This sewing method is called the whip stitch technique. Repeat the same method for the rest. When you reach a point where there's just a little distance left, there's still some distance remaining. Move downward to start stuffing. Fluff up the stuffing material. Then stuff it inside. Pay attention to make it evenly distributed, and control the amount yourself. Too much stuffing will make it stiff. Too little will cause it to lose shape. While stuffing, use the edge of the second part here. Insert your finger to test the size, as long as the dimensions fit properly. After completing it, continue sewing the remaining part. Finally, weave in the yarn into the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches. This way, the two parts are sewn together, and the head-making part is finished. Next, we'll move on to crocheting the body. It consists of the main fabric piece and lace trim. First, crochet the main fabric piece. After completing it, pick up the corresponding position on the fabric piece to crochet the lace trim. First, start with a foundation chain. The chart says 19ch. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch to form a ring. 18ch. It means first chain 19 stitches. Then crochet a slip stitch into the first stitch to form a circle with the chain stitches. After completing it, continue by chaining 18 stitches. Pick up the hook with your right hand. Hang the yarn properly with your left hand. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. There's a loop on the hook. Use your left thumb and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the loop. The hook is on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. Now, work 19 chain stitches. Once completed, form a circle with the chain stitches. Face the V-shaped loop towards you. Pay attention, don't twist the chain. Then, locate the first chain stitch. Work a half stitch on top. Pick up one strand like this. Work one slip stitch. Don't tighten here. Treat the slip stitch loop as the first chain stitch loop. This way, the chain stitches form a circle. Continue crocheting by working 18 chain stitches downward. At this point, the cast-on is complete. Begin working the first round. The chart reads, second to last, V, 24x, 3V, 25x. Second to last means start crocheting from the second stitch from the end of the cast-on. Count from right to left. 1, 2. This is the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop of the chain stitch here. Work a single crochet increase. Once completed, continue. Pick up the top loop of each chain stitch accordingly. Work 24 single crochets one by one. First, work 16 single crochets. Once completed, you've reached the position of the round. Start from this hole here. Beginning with the adjacent chain stitch, pick up the top loop and insert the hook to crochet. Continue crocheting 8 single crochets. Once completed, work 3 single crochet increases. Then continue working 8 single crochets one by one. The last stitch here is worked into the slip stitch chain from the previous round. Once completed, pick up the starting chain stitch below. For the remaining half, Let me first show you the position, which means pick up 2 strands and insert the hook. Then work a single crochet. Remember to weave in the yarn tail while crocheting. You can also notice the single crochets on this side are symmetric with those on the other side, and they are worked into the same hole. Continue working single crochets one by one. Move down to the starting chain stitch. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Once completed, you can check the stitch count. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. The first round is complete. You can see there's an opening here. Now crochet the second round. Start by working 2 single crochet increases. After that, work 16 single crochets one by one. For the following stitches, the chart indicates to pick up the back loop only. So pick up the back loop of each stitch accordingly. Refer to the stitch pattern in the chart for crocheting. After completing that, continue with regular stitches. Similarly, keep crocheting according to the chart stitch pattern. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The second round is complete. From now on, just follow the chart for crocheting. Please note that a few rounds require picking up the back loop of the stitches. The methods have been demonstrated earlier, so I won't demonstrate further here. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. We'll continue crocheting the lace trim later. That's all for explaining how to crochet the main piece. Now let's move on to making the lace trim. There are 3 layers in total, from bottom to top. First, along the edge of the main piece, crochet the first layer on the last round's edge. Then crochet the upper 2 layers one by one. The new stitch technique used is the T half double crochet, F double crochet, FB double crochet increase. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, work the first round. Here I'll demonstrate the method with a swatch. Then, pick up the yarn tail from the main piece. Directly pick the adjacent, previous first single crochet stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. Don't pull it too tight, unless otherwise specified. Don't tighten the slip stitch. Continue downward, pick the adjacent stitch, work single crochets. Hook into the adjacent stitch for half double crochet, yarn over, insert. Yarn over and draw through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through in once. Complete the half double crochet. Next you'll work a double crochet increase. The increase here is to work 2 double crochets in the same position. First, work the first stitch, yarn over, insert into the adjacent stitch, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. Continue yarn over, draw through in once. Complete the double crochet. Continue with 1 double crochet, yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops on the hook one by one. Repeat twice. Complete the double crochet. The double crochet increase is done. Increase 1 more double crochet in the adjacent stitch. That means making 2 double crochets in one position. Complete the double crochet increase. Next, work half double crochets. Yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through all 3 loops on the hook at once. Complete the half double crochet. Then work 1 single crochet and 1 slip stitch. Here, treat these 2 slip stitches and the space between them as motif 1. Continue working motif 1 downward. The stitch technique is the same as before, so I won't explain it in detail. Complete motif 1. Next, continue working 7 more motif 1s. After completing, pick up adjacent and work 1 slip stitch, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 1 DC 2 in 1, then 1 double crochet. After completing, work the symmetrical stitch pattern before the double crochet. I treat this part as motif 2. Continue working motif 1 downward. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last stitch. Go down to the starting position. Pick up the chain formed by the slip stitch at the beginning, which is the chain in front. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Next, switch colors. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the first round. Now move on to crochet the second round. Take the corresponding yarn. Make a slip knot. Locate the previous yarn tail position. At the insertion point of the slip stitch, insert the hook. Draw through. Adjust slightly. Then make 1 chain to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same spot. Remember to weave in the ends. Move downward. Pick up the stitch and the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch separately. Work one single crochet into each stitch correspondingly. Complete this round. Join with a slip stitch after finishing. Don't pull too tight. Proceed to fasten off. Slightly stretch the loop. Leave a small yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Then locate the second stitch from the left side. Insert into the stitch from the back. Pull the reserved yarn through. Then go into the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch from the wrong side, which is right under the yarn here. Pick up the back loop only. Pull the yarn through. Adjust slightly. Tuck the final yarn tail into the fabric. I won't demonstrate that part. That's the end of the explanation for the first layer of the lace trim. Now work the second layer. You can see there are 2 rounds on the main piece. There will be small horizontal lines like this. The second layer of lace trim is inserted into the horizontal line right above the first layer, with the right side facing up. Locate the marked lines from the previous slip stitches. Move one stitch to the left. Insert into the corresponding horizontal line. Position the opening side of the body downward. From bottom to top, insert. Pick up the same color yarn as the main piece. Make a slip knot. Draw through. Adjust slightly. Then start from this position. Crochet pattern 1 and pattern 2 same as the first layer of lace trim. Begin by making 1 chain stitch as the starting chain. Here the starting chain counts as the first slip stitch of pattern 1. Continue crocheting pattern 1 afterwards. The crochet method remains the same as before. Refer to the chart for the exact number of pattern repeats. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate the rest. Once completed, slip stitch in the first stitch position. This is a chain. Pick up the outer 2 loops of the chain. Insert the hook, and continue crocheting. Pull tight after completing. Cut the yarn. Now crochet the second round. At the spot where you cut the yarn is the insertion point for the slip stitch. Join the yarn. Then from the joining position, pick up stitches downward 1 by 1. Work single crochets corresponding to each stitch. Once completed, refer to the finishing method of the first layer's lace trim to fasten off. I won't demonstrate this part, so the explanation for the second layer's lace trim is now complete. After completing, continue crocheting the third layer of lace trim. Crochet along the remaining horizontal bars in the circle, mindful not to pick up stitches from the main fabric piece. At the remaining horizontal bars from the first round, when crocheting, keep the right side of the fabric facing you, with the opening side facing downward. Then start crocheting from the slip stitch mark position. Here you'll also crochet 2 rounds. The color corresponds with the previous lace trim. The crochet stitches used are slightly different from before. After joining the yarn in the first round, work single crochets directly, then follow the chart to crochet the corresponding stitches. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it here. Please complete the third layer of lace trim on your own. Up to this point, the explanation for the lace trim part is now complete. Meanwhile, the explanation for the body crochet section is now complete, along the remaining small horizontal bars on the body. Crochet back and forth in a U shape. The new stitch technique used is the TV half double crochet increase. Please watch my demonstration. Pick up the corresponding yarn. My swatch uses random colors. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Place the right side of the body facing up. Position the side with the opening on your left hand. Then pick up from the top right. The first horizontal bar. Insert the hook from bottom to top. Pull the loop through. Adjust slightly. Then refer to the chart. Start with a chain stitch, which does not count as a stitch. Follow the chart for the rest. Pick the horizontal bar and crochet the corresponding stitch. Begin at the same position as the chain stitch. I won't go into details here. Finish the last stitch. Row 1 is now complete. Next, crochet row 2. Refer to the chart. Start with a beginning chain, which does not count as a stitch. The turn after the chart means to turn the work. Turn the work counterclockwise, which means rotating the right side end outward. Then pick up the stitches from the previous row. Refer to the chart for the corresponding stitch pattern. I won't go into details again. Pay attention that when crocheting on the wrong side, the stitches are located at the upper left. Finish the last stitch. Row 2 is complete. Continue crocheting row 3. Begin with 2 ch. Start by making 2 chain stitches. These 2 stitches don't count as one stitch. Then turn the work. Pick up the stitches and work 6 half double crochets. Start crocheting from the adjacent stitch. After completing, work a half double crochet increase, which means working 2 half double crochets in the same position. Complete the half double crochet increase, then work 3 half double crochets correspondingly. 3 single crochets. One single crochet increase, SC2 in 1. 3 single crochets. Three half double crochets. One half double crochet increase, which means working 2 half double crochets in the same position. Complete the half double crochet increase. Then continue working 6 half double crochets correspondingly. Finish with a half double crochet increase. Row 3 is completed. Now work on row 4. First, make 2 chain stitches to begin. Then turn the work. Start from the adjacent position. Refer to the chart. Crochet the corresponding stitches. The method is quite simple, so I won't explain it in detail. Finish the last stitch position. Do not crochet into the adjacent chain stitch. This completes row 4. Now work on row 5. Need to insert the shaping wire. First take the shaping wire. Place it along the curve of row 4. Leave about 2 centimeters of length at both ends. Trim off the excess part. Next, cut open the outer skin of the shaping wire and remove it. Pay attention not to cut the wire inside. Here the shaping wire is quite long. Cut it open section by section. Once completed, start crocheting. Start with 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Then crochet the corresponding stitches starting from the adjacent stitch. Refer to the chart for details. While crocheting, place the thin wire on top. Wrap it into stitches as you go. Pay attention to leave about 2 centimeters at the beginning. Continue crocheting downward. After crocheting a few stitches, tuck the thin wire inward to secure it. Leave about 60-70 centimeters of yarn tail underneath. Cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Tighten. That concludes the explanation for section 1. Now move on to section 2. The method is similar to section 1, but the starting position is different. Here, I'll continue demonstrating the method using the sample. Pick up the yarn. It's the same yarn as used for section 1 in the actual piece. I'll demonstrate using a different color. Make a slip knot. Place the opening of the body on the left side, right side facing up, then locate the half side. Remaining at the top right of the opening. That's the stitch insertion position for this side. Insert the hook from bottom to top. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Then make one beginning chain to start. Work down from the same position. Pick up the remaining half side of the chain. Crochet the corresponding stitches according to the chart. I won't go into details. When crocheting, remember to check the insertion point from the right side. Don't miss any stitches. After completing the last stitch, the first row is done. Remember to check the stitch count. Continue working back and forth in rows. Refer to the chart for specific stitch patterns. Note that the shaping wire also needs to be added on the last row. The method is the same as section 1. Tuck the beginning and ending thin wires inward. Match the direction with section 1. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate it. Please complete the remaining part by yourselves. After completion, leave about 67-0 cm of sewing thread. That's all for the explanation of section 2. Next is sewing. Use the whip stitch method again. Thread the yarn tail of one fabric piece onto the sewing needle. Set the other yarn tail aside. Then match up the two sections. You can twist the two inward wires together to secure them. I won't demonstrate it. Then start from the end with the yarn tail. Pick up stitches along the edge. Sew them together correspondingly. After completion, weave the yarn end into the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches. This completes the sewing. That's all for the chin part. Next is making the teeth. First, take the corresponding yarn, refer to the chart for details, then cast on 28 chain stitches with crochet. Cut the yarn after completion. Then pick up the corresponding yarn again. On the side of the chain where there are braids, pick up the half loop on top of the braid. Start from the braid at the very edge here. Insert. Join the yarn. Make one chain stitch as the turning chain, then go to the left. Pick up the half loop on top of the chain stitch. Work one single crochet and one double crochet. Remember to weave in the yarn. These two stitches are worked in the same position. After completion, move to the adjacent braid. Pick up the half loop on top and work one double crochet and one single crochet. Also work them in one stitch position. After completion, move to the next chain stitch position. Work one slip stitch. Here, treat the stitches in the 3 chain stitch positions. As a group. Continue working one group. The stitch pattern is simple, so I won't explain in detail. After completion, repeat this group all the way down. Keep working until the last chain stitch position. When you're almost done, move the yarn tail from left to right over the hook. Weave it in as you crochet. Continue crocheting downward. Leave a yarn tail of 60-70 centimeters after finishing. Fasten off the yarn. Pull tight. Weave in the remaining yarn and cut off the excess. This completes the teeth. Set them aside for now. Next, we'll make the legs. A total of 4 legs. The method is the same for all. Evenly divide into the main fabric piece and braid-like texture. Start by crocheting the main fabric piece. Work to the corresponding position and create the braid-like texture. Then continue crocheting the remaining part. The main part starts with a chain stitch. Work counterclockwise around the starting row. The method is similar to that of the body, except this time we don't leave an opening. The new stitch techniques used are single crochet 3-in-1. A single crochet decrease. Watch my demonstration. First, pick up the corresponding yarn. Start with 7 chain stitches. The starting chain is done. Next, work the first round. Find the position of the second to last stitch. Pick up the top loop. Make a single crochet increase. Then pick the top loop of the chain. Work 4 single crochets. When done, you reach the last chain position. Crochet a single crochet 3-in-1, which means working 3 single crochets in one position. Complete the single crochet 3-in-1. Then go back. Pick up the remaining half side of the chain to crochet. Start from the position of the adjacent stitch. Work 4 single crochets correspondingly, one by one. Remember to weave in the yarn. When done, you reach the starting chain position. Pick up the remaining half side. Crochet 1 single crochet. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. The first round is complete. Continue crocheting rounds 2 to 3 downward. Refer directly to the chart. Work the corresponding stitch patterns. Remember to insert the hook into the back loop of the stitch in round 3. The method has been demonstrated earlier. It's quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it again. Please complete these 2 rounds on your own. After completing them, work the 4th round. Decreasing is needed. First, work 8 single crochets correspondingly, one by one. After completing them, work a single crochet decrease. First, work an incomplete single crochet, insert into the adjacent stitch, yarn over, pull through. This is called an incomplete single crochet. Continue working another incomplete single crochet, insert into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over. Pull through. At this point, you've completed 2 incomplete single crochets. Finally, yarn over, draw through all in once. Complete the single crochet decrease. Continue working single crochet decreases downward. Pick up the stitches accordingly. Work 2 incomplete single crochets. 1, 2. Then yarn over. Draw through all the loops on the hook at once. Complete the single crochet decrease. Work another single crochet decrease in the adjacent stitch. After completing, work single crochets corresponding to each stitch. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 4 is complete. Continue crocheting. Work even with single crochets. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate further, since we'll need to make braid texture later. To make it easier to crochet, pause after working a few rounds. Here I'll use a swatch to demonstrate the method. To prevent coming loose, slightly stretch the loops on the hook. Then thread the yarn through from the inside. Slightly tighten. Start making the braid texture after completing. Take the corresponding color. Make a slip knot. Find the 4th to 5th round on the main body. In the space between the 2 rounds, insert the hook into any chain space. Here I'll insert the hook next to the slip stitch mark. Draw the loop through. Make some adjustments. Then pick the chain spaces one by one towards one side. Work slip stitches into each chain correspondingly. Complete the last chain space. Enlarge the loop. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Then bring the yarn out from under the first braid on the left side. And then bring the yarn from the center of the last braid hook to the wrong side. Tie a double knot with the starting yarn tail. Keep the remaining yarn tail inside. This way the braid texture is made. Continue crocheting the main part downward. Insert into the stitch and pull the yarn through directly. Chain 1 as the turning chain. Then work single crochets into each stitch accordingly. Refer to the chart for the exact number of rounds. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate further here. Leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters after finishing. That concludes the explanation for making a single leg. Using the same method, continue crocheting the remaining 3 legs. I won't repeat the demonstration. Stuffing is needed after completion. 2 of the legs should be fully stuffed. The other 2. Stuff them up to about halfway of the fabric. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate it. That concludes the explanation for making the legs.